All right, here we go. Good morning, everyone. It's September the 30th. Can you believe that? Tomorrow starts October 2020. Pastor Randy Fuller here with a morning word. And our morning word this morning is dress up. Dress up. If you have your Bible, we're going to go to Philippians chapter 4. And we're going to go to the 8th verse. 8th verse. You guys are familiar with this. And it says, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of a good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. These things which you learned and received and heard and saw in me, these do, and the God of peace will be with you. Now he's talking about Paul here is writing to the Philippian believers, and he's writing to them about maintaining peace and joy in life. Now, the irony of that is that Paul is writing this. This is one of the prison epistles. Paul is writing this from prison. Now, mind you, he is incarcerated. He is possibly facing a death sentence. Eventually, he did receive a death sentence from Rome. But he's telling the people that have come to him that are worried, he says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto God. And so then he tells them after he instructs them to pray and to thank God for everything, and it says, then finally, brothers, whatever things are true and noble, just, pure, lovely, virtuous, praiseworthy, whatever's of a good report, think on these things. There was a lady that came to me one time, and she said, she told me she had two girls and at the church, and she said, Pastor Randy, she said, my girls are bothered. I think the family had gone through a divorce, and she says that, and there's something deeper going on, and I wish you would send me a verse that I could share with them that would help them. And I said, okay, I'll send it to you. And I sent her and the girls Philippians 4:8. And I knew when I looked that up that not only was I sending them a verse, but it was a verse that God wanted to speak to me about. And it was this verse that we just read, choosing our thought life. Choosing our thought life. Now, here's what she said. She said, my girls look so cute, all dressed up for school. And she said, inside, I think they're a mess. Now, guys, that's how we are. We get dressed every morning. You get up, I get up, we do our hair. Some people do their makeup, and their hair, and they spend countless hours, literally, nearly, getting dressed on the outside so that we can present ourselves to people as looking like we have it all together, but on the inside, we're a mess. And I got to thinking about that, and I thought, you know what? Sometimes when we change our clothes on the outside, our clothes on the outside kind of reflect what we're feeling about ourselves in that particular environment. In other words, mornings that you feel like you're lazy, you stay in your sweatpants and your t-shirt. Days that you up and at 'em, you put on a nice dress, you want to dress up, and your mood kind of follows your outer attire. And I was thinking, you know what, that our thoughts are the clothes of our mind. We've got to get our mind dressed for the kind of attitude and life that we want to have. You can't have sweatpant thoughts and have starch shirt life. You've got to choose your thoughts like you choose your clothes. And your mind and your attitude and your emotions are going to follow after your thought life inwardly, just like it does outwardly. And Paul, when he was writing to Timothy in 2 Timothy 1:7, he said, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That word sound mind in the Greek means a disciplined thought patterns. Disciplined thought patterns. It means safe thinking and good judgment. And it also, going along with the rest of Paul's writings here, it brings to us an inner peace and joy because God's Spirit accompanies our thought life. God's Spirit accompanies our thought life. And when our thought life is not in alignment with God's Word, we are convicted. We don't feel like we supposed to feel, and we're like this mother told me. She said, my girls are all dressed up and they're just as cute as they can be, and they look like they have it all together, but inside they're a mess. And there's a lot of people today outwardly, you know, and y'all go, hey girl, what's up, dude? And we all kind of portray that we have it all together, but inside we're a mess. We got all kinds of things on our mind. We're falling apart like a $2 suitcase. And yet the world doesn't think that, you know, our Facebook image, that's not what's going on in y'all's life. Y'all know better than that. Your life is not la-di-da-di-da. You guys know, if all of our lives were going like y'all put it on Facebook, then there would be no counselors, no pastors, no need for medicine, and all. Everybody's got it all together. But that's a facade. That's a facade. That ain't real. Facebook ain't real. People, y'all are jacking with one another and putting out there an image that you want people to see, but that ain't what's going on. When you lay down at night, you ain't Facebook. You ain't the Facebook person you put on Facebook that morning. And so I love to dress up. I was thinking about this when I was a little boy. I did something this morning that I hadn't done ever. I was thinking about this, and I remember I wrote this. This is part of some devotions I wrote years ago, 6 or 8 or 10 years ago. And I always enjoyed cowboys. I started to wear my cowboy hat this morning. I wore it last night out, and a cowboy shirt, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to wear a cowboy shirt all day, and long story. But anyway, I got to thinking about it. I always loved cowboys when I was little, and I love cowboys now. I love to dress up. Literally, I do. I love to dress up like a cowboy. I love to wear boots and jeans and Western shirts and cowboy hats and so forth and so on. I love to watch Heartland because it's about cowboys. It's about horses. I love that. All the way back to when I was a little boy, there was a character on TV called Stony Burke. Now, that didn't mean anything to you guys that's younger than 60, but there was a guy named Stony Burke, and I used to dress up like him because I watched him on TV. He was a cowboy. Now, I went and Googled him this morning, and I took his picture on my phone, and then I sent it to Beth's phone so that I could show it to y'all this morning. Here's Stony Burke. Now, I know that's not a very good picture, but you see that saddle he has on his shoulder? And you see that neckerchief tied around his neck and that cowboy hat? That's Stony Burke. That's part of the TV series. It's so funny when I pull that up that he had that saddle on his shoulder because that's how I remembered him. And my daddy had a softball glove. It was as big as a cooking pan for toast in the oven. I mean, it was huge. Matter of fact, I played baseball with it. It was my first glove. And I could put my hands in it twice. But I would take my finger and put it through the backing of where your hand goes in, and I'd throw it over my shoulder. It was my dad's softball glove, and that was my saddle. And I had a neckerchief tied around my neck like Stony Burke. I wore, I think I had some brown boots, and I would wear them with short pants or long pants. Y'all know, like boys do. And I was a cowboy. And my mama worked at the hospital, and she had these little notepads. It was about this wide, about this long, square. And she would put them in her pocket with a pen, and she would take notes at the hospital, you know, give so many cc's of this, check on patient so-and-so. And she'd bring notepad after notepad home and take them out of her pocket and put them in her drawers. Well, I'd take the notepad out, and I would put it in my pocket, and I acted like that was my smoking papers. And I would pull a piece of paper off, and I'd roll that little thing up, and I'd stick it in my mouth, and that was my cigarette. And I would have a cigarette in my mouth like this, you know, and my saddle over my shoulder, and I'd be Stony Burke. And as I smoked my cigarette, I would wind up the papers and shorten it up, so pretty soon I had a real short cigarette. Now, I know you guys are laughing here. I see it going up on the screen there, but that's who I was. I was Stony Burke. Now, it's funny that when I picked up Beth's phone this morning that she had a note from one of our neighbors, and it said, I love dress up. Look here, kids dressing up for Halloween. Kids dressing up for Halloween. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all know who this is right here? Y'all know who this is right here? That's Micah. He was on me about wanting to be a Darth Vader for Halloween, and we ordered him something off off the internet the other day, and it came in yesterday. He put that thing on. I've listened to Darth Vader voice box that comes off that belt 15 or 20 times yesterday in 5 minutes. He had to put it on and show me himself and take it off before he put on his football uniform to play football last night. But that's how we love to dress up. Well, in the same way, we need to choose our thoughts. Our thoughts become, listen, our thoughts become our persona. We take on the character. When Micah walked into the room, let me put this back up there. When Micah walked into the room like this, the first thing that he did was he just stood still. He just stood still like Vader, and he'd go, and you know what made him act like Darth Vader? The stinking outfit. The outfit. And when I put on my Stony Burke outfit, in my mind, I didn't have spurs, my God, but in my mind, I could hear the spurs jingle when I walked. I was a bad mamma jamma, boy. I was the baddest cowboy you could ever find in all of Tuscaloosa County. That's what I was in my mind when I put on those clothes, okay? So when we put on our thoughts, that's what we become. When we dress our mind with the things of God, with the words of God, with the promises of God, when we set our mind, Sean did a good teaching on Facebook the other day. When we set our mind on heavenly things, we become heavenly minded. Well, the Bible tells us to be carnally minded is death, but to be heavenly minded is life and peace. So when we start dressing up in our mind with the thoughts and the meditations of the promises of God, life and peace become take over on the inside. Life takes over on the inside. The life of God, the peace of God, the joy of God, the hope of God. And this morning, there's going to be some people that are looking good at work, and you're going to be falling apart like a $2 suitcase. And part of it is because of that argue fest that they had on yesterday that they called a debate. I turned that thing off after about 30 minutes. I thought, well, I know this is going to be a mess here at the beginning, but they'll settle down. That was like watching two kids fight over a stick out in the yard. I had never in my life. Those are grown men. And then that yahoo that was moderating, somebody needs to take him out back and whip him with a crappie pole. He was completely biased and out of control himself. But my point is this. We need to choose our thoughts. And today, if you want to have a life filled with peace and hope and you want the life of God, you're going to have to choose something besides what you're seeing on that TV and what you're thinking in your mind. And I'm not talking about, your life may be difficult right now, some really difficult things going on, but there's some actions that you have to take, but we don't have to dwell on the negative. We can choose, just like I chose this shirt this morning. I walked in my closet, I looked down through there and I said, I choose this shirt. I took it off the hanger. I put it on, and I'm going to tuck it in. I didn't tuck it in this morning, but I'm going to tuck it in, and I'm going to wear this shirt because I chose this shirt. I can't wear a shirt I didn't choose. I can't wear a shirt I didn't choose. I can't wear shoes that I don't choose. You have to choose them. Then you have to take them off the rack, and then you have to put them on. They ain't going to fly off the rack and fall on you. If you don't take this shirt to work, it ain't going to be at work when you get there. So you have to take these thoughts with you. We have to try to go think back in our mind the good things. It says, whatsoever things are true, noble. What's true? The Word of God, noble. And it's not necessarily just the things of God, but think on good things. Think on good things. Think about what's right in the world. Think about what's going on good. Look around and say, God, man, I got my health today. Man, God, my kids are getting to go to school today. Thank God. And think about the good things and try to set our mind on the good things, and we will enter into the character of the clothing, not that we just wear on the outside, but the clothing of the thoughts that we dress our mind with every day. Now, I hope you guys have a great morning this morning. Today's the last day. If you want to give any money to Dave Turner in the prison ministry, you can wire that in. There's a lot of instructions on the, not any time to mail it, but you can wire it in today if you want to. And you can put the instructions on the comments section and make sure that we send it to the prison ministry or Dave Turner. I hope this has helped you. It's helped me. The bottom line is our thoughts become the clothes of our mind. And we feel how we're dressed. We feel how we're dressed. And if we dress our mind with good things, we'll have a good day. If we dress our mind with bad things, we're going to have a miserable day. Hope this has helped you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the nice weather. I'll see you tomorrow morning, good Lord willing, and the saints don't rise. Peace out.